U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has spoken with Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov about next steps toward a resolution of Russia's war against Ukraine. The conversation comes ahead of an expected meeting between the U.S. and Russian presidents, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, in Hungary. Speaking to journalists on board Air Force One on Sunday, Mr. Trump outlined some of his ideas for how a ceasefire could be achieved.
We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. You have a battle line right now. The rest is very tough to negotiate. If you're going to say, you take this, we take that, there's so many different permutations. So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
What do you think should happen with the Donbas region then?
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line. But I said cut and stop at the battle line, go home, stop fighting, stop killing people.
Well, reports suggest that Vladimir Putin does want a final deal that involves changes to the current front lines. Moscow would reportedly be willing to give up small areas of the two southern frontline regions, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia, shown here in yellow. In exchange, President Putin said to want full control of the eastern Donbas region, which is made up of Donetsk and Luhansk, which is the green area. According to the Financial Times, Trump relayed Russia's demands to Ukraine's President Zelensky when they met at the White House on Friday. And the newspaper reports that the meeting descended many times into a shouting match, with Trump reportedly urging Ukraine's president to accept Putin's terms or be destroyed by Russia. Rachel Rizzo is with the Atlantic Council in Washington, where she specializes in transatlantic security issues. Rachel, Trump just told reporters a little while ago that he doesn't think Ukraine will win the war. That's a big change from his statement a few weeks ago that Ukraine could retake all its territory. Is this just Trump being Trump, or is he actually changing course on Ukraine?
Well, I think he's gone back and forth on this for months now, and I think it goes to show that the president has no real love for Ukraine, right? He doesn't necessarily want Ukraine to win. He wants his team to walk away with a win. And what a win looks like for him is some sort of negotiated settlement between Russia and Ukraine, even if that potentially means Ukraine signing a deal that maybe isn't in its best interests. And so I think what we've seen over the last few months is this flip-flopping by the Trump administration, sort of driven by events happening on the ground in Ukraine, but also driven by the fact that this team is clearly getting pretty frustrated with Vladimir Putin's unwillingness to really come to the table. So let's see what the next couple of weeks have in store on this particular front.
Now, reports say that Trump's meeting with Zelensky was very tense. How would you describe U.S.-Ukraine relations right at this moment?
I would say tense, of course, but I think that Zelensky handled this meeting better than the meeting that he had with the president back in February at the Oval Office. Remember, that meeting very quickly and very publicly devolved into a shouting match between the two sides. Zelensky obviously walked away from that previous meeting with nothing. He walked away from this meeting with not much either. He was hoping he would get some deal by the president to send Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. That obviously didn't happen. And there has to be some frustration with Zelensky and his team that Trump keeps, as they say it, parroting Putin's talking points and working for a quick peace rather than a just peace. So I think this meeting went better, but I think the relations between the two sides right now can be described as contentious at best.
So contentious relations between U.S. and Ukraine. What about the U.S. and Russia? Because Foreign Minister Lavrov and Secretary of State Rubio are set to meet to lay the groundwork for this summit between Trump and Putin. Do we have a sense that the U.S. and Russia are getting more aligned here?
I don't think so necessarily. What's interesting about this meeting is that you have Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, meeting with Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister. This isn't Steve Witkoff going ahead of Trump and trying to lay the groundwork the way he did ahead of the Alaska meeting between Putin and Trump. That meeting didn't go well. So what I'm seeing here is maybe there's some dissatisfaction with Steve Witkoff and his team, and they're trying to put this into Rubio's camp to really lay potential groundwork before the president has a high-level meeting with Putin so that he doesn't walk away with nothing the way he walked away with nothing in Alaska. So I think relations between the Russian negotiating team and the U.S. negotiating team are probably contentious as well. But what we've been seeing over the last few months, I think, is just growing frustration amongst the Trump team at their inability to call this a win in the way that they promised, both during the campaign and after Trump was elected and inaugurated in January.
Rachel Rizzo from the Atlantic Council, thank you for your insights.
Thanks so much.